Part 89. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 881. Although Guo Kui insisted on leaving, Lu Zhang and others obeyed Ye Zhenjun's order and did not want to let her go. Lu Zhang muttered, "Sister-in-law, don't leave in a hurry. We don't know much about the situation in the capital. It can be said that we are blind. It's better to wait." According to the news brought by the deputy commander, Comrade Ye should temporarily there is no danger to your life. If you just go to the capital, won't you give those people an opportunity to attack Comrade Ye? The nephews, nieces, and daughters-in-law are not in the capital, and they are worried that they will not have the opportunity to find Comrade Ye's weakness. If you go, it will be a dead end. A target. Wait. How to wait? When to wait? Should I wait until something happens to Lao Ye before I go? It will be too late. Guo Kui couldn't control the impatience and worry in her heart. Lao Ye has such a bad temper. You have been following him for so many years and you are still, don't you understand? I'm afraid that he will contradict the staff responsible for his old boss. Although they are relatively far from the capital, it seems that the sky is high and the emperor is far away, but newspapers and documents are constantly sent over, and it can be seen from the inside. Guo Kui said that those young people were going crazy and would hit them wherever the superiors pointed them out. Sister-in-law, Comrade Ye must have had his intentions when he told us to let you stay in the army. If you go to the capital and let Comrade Ye know about it, he will definitely be worried about you. Guo Kui immediately interrupted Lu Zhang. Lu Zhang, Lao Ye and I are revolutionary partners. There is no reason to sit idly by. I think if something like this happens to you, then King Xiu will do the same for you as I do. Running around, I will save your life first, and then I will try my best to save you. How can you bear to let me stay here and wait for the news?" Lu Zhang was stunned for a moment and looked at Feng Qingxiu. Feng Qingxiu hurriedly muttered a few words. "Sister-in-law, please don't say these unlucky words. Commander Ye will be safe and sound, and nothing will happen to our Ajiang, for sure she is most afraid of Lu Zhang following him now. Something happened to Ye Zhenjun." Yes, I shouldn't compare it like this." Guo Kui smiled and said seriously, "but, I have to go." "Let's do this, sister-in-law," Lu Zhang suddenly said. "In a few days, our army will welcome a new commander, who will take charge of all affairs of the army in place of Comrade Ye. By then, he will be our highest military commander. You wait for him. Come and leave later." Guo Kui was stunned. New army commander? Who? Congratulations to Xiang Qian, they are not the old generals who were awarded the title in 1955. Of course, to be able to assume the position of army commander, they must be quite old and have high qualifications. They came from the anti-Japanese war. When Guo Kui heard the name, she waved her hand and said, "If you talk about him, then I have to leave even more." "What? Does sister-in-law know him?" Lu Zhang and Feng Qingxiu asked in unison. "We know each other." "Why don't we know each other?" "We are very familiar with each other." Guo Kui's face was not angry and she whispered, "This man and Lao Ye were in the army before and after. They fought together for several years during the anti-Japanese war. They are very selfish." "They are selfish." "Not only that, but he also likes to form cliques and is like a grass on the wall. Didn't he just follow the east wind? As you know, Lao Ye only moved forward step by step after the founding of the People's Republic of China. To this day, it has put pressure on him and he is very unhappy." At this point, Guo Kui continued, "I have to go, I don't want to stay here and see his face. He is not that bad. Those who joined the army back then, didn't they all do it for the country and the people? Is it just selfishness? Ah, neither Lao Ye nor I can stand it. He is dissatisfied with Lao Ye, and I will probably stumble upon Lu Zhang. You should be careful after I leave." Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 882. With Guo Kui's words in mind, Lu Zhang, after discussing with Zheng Suifeng, Zhao Yang, Shang Kun, and others, could only agree to her leaving the military area. The only requirement was to keep in touch. Feng Qingxiu, Guo Xiuying, and others helped pack their luggage and prepare dry food. Guo Kui felt that she didn't know when she would be able to come back, or that she might not have the chance to come back, so she distributed the things that could not be taken away and belonged to her home to Feng Qingxiu and Guo Xiuying. Because the train does not leave every day, Guo Kui's trip is scheduled for 3 days later. Unexpectedly, He Xiangqian arrived at the army in advance. Lu Jiang Guanhao and others planned to drive people to meet him was instantly dashed. Worried that he would hold a grudge, a large group of people rushed to the door to welcome him in. He Xiangqian is an old man with good facial features and a kind face, about the same age as Ye Zhenjun. Just by looking at his appearance and simple clothes, it is impossible to tell that he is the selfish person Guo Kui said. The first thing he did when he came to the army was to inspect the daily training and study of the soldiers. He stood on the periphery and listened to the instructor talk about the essence of the old leader's quotations, and nodded secretly. Lu Zhang and others had already arranged the place for He Xiangqian to work and stay, so there was no dissatisfaction on the first day. Early the next morning, he was walking around and somehow caught a glimpse of Guo Kui, so he immediately called Lu Zhang and others. Ye Zhenjun is rebellious and has been detained. His family members are no longer family members of the army, so why are they still living here? Tell her to leave quickly. The army has army rules and cannot make exceptions. He Xiangqian's tone was particularly serious. Because Guo Kui was on the train tomorrow morning and had planned to leave today and temporarily stay in a guest house to facilitate the early morning train, Lu Zhang did not argue and said, "Don't worry, comrade He, we will definitely not make an exception for someone. We have received the news, we have already arranged for comrade Guo to leave. We will send her off today and get her a train ticket tomorrow morning." After hearing this, He Xiangqian's expression softened a little. "Arrange it as soon as possible, and don't leave people who are not within the regulations to live in the army." Yes. There were 3 fires when the new officer took office. The first fire was on Guo Kui. The second fire was after Guo Kui left. He Xiangqian arranged for all soldiers to continue to learn the old leader's guiding ideology and arranged for the female soldiers of the art team to rehearse. Revolutionary dramas include Taking Tiger Mountain by Wisdom, Shaijiabang, Red Lantern, Cuckoo Mountain, White-Haired Girl, Red Detachment of Women and other plays. The art team had just been established. Although Yang Fangning, and others knew a few revolutionary dramas, they were not proficient in all of them, so He Xiangqian arranged for them to take a group of female soldiers to the capital to study. As soon as the art team left, the troops instantly became deserted. In normal times, the female soldiers of the art team can also rehearse some programs to increase everyone's entertainment. Does it need to be mentioned now? Affected by the above-mentioned plan to get rid of the 4 olds, last year's college entrance examination was stopped and many schools were closed. Although the Spring Festival is coming, there is no atmosphere of celebrating the New Year. In the past, New Year's Day bonfire party and Spring Festival bonfire party were held, but now they are all cancelled. After the 2 fires were burned and everyone was wondering when the 3rd fire would be lit, He Xiangqian approved the leave for Lu Zhang and other senior generals. Mainly 3 people, Lu Zhang, Wen Hao, and Zheng Suifeng, were each granted 3 months of family leave. I checked the records and found that you haven't gone home to visit relatives for several years. While there are no tasks in the army, you can go home and reunite with your family for a while, He Xiangqian said kindly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, The Struggle Career of a Charmed Wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 883. How could Lu Zhang and others not understand He Xiangqian's intentions? He Xiangqian did not develop from here and has no foundation. He desperately needs to gather power. Now this power is in the hands of Lu Zhang and Wen Hao. One is the acting army commander and the other is the chief of staff, complementing each other. Lu Zhang and the others left for a while, which was enough for He Xiangqian to achieve his goal. Lu Jiang's actual combat ability on the battlefield is first-rate. However, he himself does not like administrative intrigues, nor does he care about the power that He Xiangqian values. The duty of a soldier lies on the battlefield. Therefore, after looking at Zheng Suifeng and others, Lu Zhang immediately smiled and said, "When comrade he came, I was the first to breathe a sigh of relief, because I am young and ignorant, and I am actually not qualified to take on a big responsibility. If comrade he manages, it will definitely make the army prosper. It's good to take a vacation. I haven't taken family leave for several years and I have long wanted to go back to see my family." He showed a look of returning home. In fact, he does miss home, but country is above home, so he can only suppress his longing in his heart. Zibao will be 5 years old in a few months. The last time he went home was when Zibao was 7 or 8 months old, and it was not his own vacation. He had not seen his father, nephew, and others for many years, which made him really panic. When he goes home, of course he wants to go back with his wife, and then the family will be reunited. As the husband and wife were both in the military, it was difficult for them to take leave at the same time. Unexpectedly, He Xiangxiang actually granted him and Feng Qingxiu 3 months of leave. After this incident, everyone knew that He Xiangqian was unreliable. How selfish must he be to approve such a lie? Fortunately, there is no war now, the army has enough medical personnel, and Feng Qingxiu's vacation will not affect any work. Go home, we can go home together. Zibao, we can go home. Feng Qingxiu hugged Zibao and kissed her fiercely. In the blink of an eye, she has been away from her hometown for several years. When she returns in her dreams at midnight, she will see her hometown with the mountains and rivers, relatives and friends in her hometown. She thought she would have a chance to go home soon, but she didn't expect that because of He Xiangqiang's selfishness, they could be reunited as a family. Zibao stretched out his hand and wiped his forehead. "Mom, I am a man. You can't kiss me anymore. Dad will be jealous and then fight with me. I eat too little and I can't beat Dad." Feng Qingxiu was stunned, then laughed, and said, "When did your father challenge you for a duel?" "Yesterday, I didn't beat him." Zibao was very frustrated. "Mom, you have to make delicious food for me. Eat more and grow taller and stronger. Then I can beat my father, and then I can beat you." "Grab it." Feng Qingxiu remembered. He Xiangxiang was eager to seize power when he came. He took over all the work that Lu Zhang should be responsible for. Now that he was on vacation, Lu Zhang handed over the work to him and went home every day. He came back very early. As a result, their family of 4 spent a lot more time together. Last night, in order to fight for the last piece of braised pork, the father and son lay on the kong and started humming on top of each other. At that time, they muttered something, but Feng Qingxiu didn't hear it clearly. Now that I think about it, Lu Zhang was probably jealous of his child. "You are talking nonsense to Zibao. Don't listen to your dad's nonsense." Feng Qingxiu released the hand holding him. "Mom, kiss me, kiss me." Fu Bao put her pretty little face close to her. She didn't understand the meaning of going home, because she was born in the capital and grew up here. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 884. Feng Qingxiu kissed her. "Fu Bao, let's go home to find Grandpa and brothers. Are you happy?" "Grandpa? Grandpa Lu Ziwen. Brother, brother Lu Tianjun, brother Lu Tianzi, brother Guanchang, brother Guanyu, brother Lu Zibao Fu Bao read out in one breath, pointing to the photo on the wall, "Grandpa, brother. Fu Bao is so smart, let's go home to find grandpa and brother," Feng Qingxiu praised. Fu Bao smiled sweetly and said, "The baby is very beautiful. Grandpa likes the baby." Feng Qingxiu smiled, her confidence was exactly the same as Zibao's. "Okay, okay, everyone likes Fu Bao very much." Feng Qingxiu turned around and opened 2 bottles of canned food for them to eat. In fact, they were fruits boiled with rock sugar. While they were eating the canned food obediently, she packed her luggage. Lu Zhang and he finished handing over the work to Qian, which was when they set off. He and Zheng Suifeng both took vacations. Zhao Yang did not take vacations, and neither did Wen Hao. He Xiangqian discovered that it would not matter if Lu Zhang left, but when Wen Hao left as chief of staff, there would be no one to assist him in his work, so he revoked Wen Hao's leave. Family leave is like child's play, which makes many senior generals dissatisfied. Zheng Suifeng left 2 days earlier than Lu Zhang. Before leaving, he returned Jin Hong's divorce application to him. He was worried that Jin Hong would cause trouble after he left because the newspaper was written by Cao Hongju, so he pretended to say it accidentally. Previously, Comrade Li Shuitian came to me to apologize. He apologized for Comrade Cao Hongju, saying that Comrade Cao Hongju was ignorant and got involved in the matter between you two. What newspaper was produced at the request of Comrade Lu Zayadai? That newspaper must be posted. The revolutionary feelings between you and Comrade Lu Zayadai are really gone. He was so scared that he came to apologize quickly. I am very glad that the revolutionary feelings between you and Comrade Lu Zayadai have not broken down. You also promised me that you will control Cao Hongju in the future. Jin Hong swallowed his words that he wanted to complain about. What a Li Shuitian, he actually did this. Zheng Suifeng saw through Jin Hong's thoughts at a glance and got into the car with a smile. After seeing Zheng Suifeng off, Lu Zhang sped up the handover at He Xiangqian's urging, and it was completed within 2 days, and he and his family boarded the train home. Before getting in the car, Lu Zhang sent a telegram to his home. Although this was not Fu Bao's first time riding a train, she was only 2 months old last time, so she looked around here and there. She felt so strange that she pressed her face against the glass window to look out. Coincidentally, the conductor in charge of this train was still Xiao Wang when Feng Qingxiu and her son arrived. Zibao's appearance has changed a lot as he grew up, but Feng Qingxiu has not changed. Xiao Wang recognized it at a glance. After busying himself, he was very enthusiastic and brought them a toilet with a lid for the convenience of the child. Relieve yourself at night. Lu Zhang and Feng Qingxiu could take turns taking their children to the toilet or washing their lunch boxes, unlike before, where Feng Qingxiu had to take care of Zibao alone. Therefore, the role of the toilet is dispensable to them. But Feng Qingxiu was still grateful for Xiao Wang's thoughtfulness and stuffed a bag of yak jerky to her. You can't accept it, you can't accept it, Xiao Wang waved his hands hurriedly, this is my responsibility. I can't accept your gifts casually. If the train conductor finds out, I will be punished. Feng Qingxiu said, this is a gift between our friends, there is no issue of bribery. Having said that, Xiao Wang still didn't dare to accept it. It was Feng Qingxiu who asked the train conductor to testify that Xiao Wang accepted this package of gifts. Naturally, he served their family even more thoughtfully. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 885. A few days later, when the train was halfway through, Lu Zhang and Feng Qingxiu immediately noticed something unusual. The train stopped after it entered the station. You can see many students gathered outside the glass window. They are both male and female, and they are all between 15 or 16 years old. They are all wearing red armbands, carrying a red flag, and shouting. They even sent a few people to guard the door to prevent other passengers from getting on first. They waited until all their own passengers were on board before allowing other passengers to get on the bus. As soon as they got on the train, they occupied countless empty seats and berths. They took it for granted and shouted at the conductor. Lu Zhang took Zibao to the toilet and found that the carriage was packed with all these students. Originally, a few teenagers rushed directly into the box chosen by the couple. However, when they saw Feng Qingxiu wearing a military uniform, and then Lu Zhang, who brought the child in with 4 pockets on his jacket, quickly apologized and left. It's been a long time since mealtime, but the dining car waiter and Xiao Wang never showed up. Fu Bao sat in Lu Jiang's arms, twitching his eyebrows. "Dad, the baby is hungry. Is there anything delicious?" Zibao, who was lying on the sleeper and seemed to be reading the quotation, instantly turned over and sat up. "Mom, your big baby is also hungry, his belly is flat, and he needs to fill it with delicious food," he said and touched it. "Own belly." When Feng Qingxiu heard this, she immediately let her children eat hot meals before the dining car came over. She poured some boiling water into the lunch box, made butter tea, then pretended to take out a stack of steamed buns from the space in her luggage bag, rolled them in chili sauce mixed with fried white rice strips, and handed it to Lu Zhang. Seeing the red hot sauce in the can, Zibao looked frightened and said, "It's spicy." "Yes, it's spicy. Children can't eat it," Feng Qingxiu said. "Children like to imitate adults. They always think that what adults eat is the most delicious and must try it." For example, on the first day of getting on the bus, when Lu Zhang ate delicious food, Zibao insisted on eating it. Lu Zhang dipped his chopsticks into it a little bit. It was so spicy that the little guy burst into tears and never dared to touch the bottle of chili sauce again. "Mom, I don't eat spicy food," Zibao said. "You have to love the big baby." Okay, he means that just because he has a baby, that is, Fu Bao, he can't stop loving him. Feng Qingxiu picked up a piece of steamed bun and rolled it with meat sauce without adding chili pepper. As for Fu Bao, who didn't eat these things at all, Feng Qingxiu peeled off an egg she bought in the morning for her to fill her belly first. Wait for the dining car to come and then heat her soup and rice. As a result, when the eggs were finished, there was no sign of the dining car. Afraid that one egg would not fill her daughter's stomach, Feng Qingxiu hurriedly made malted milk for her and took out the chicken cake that she didn't want to give her. The little girl particularly likes snacks such as chicken, cakes, biscuits, canned milk, candies, etc. This is probably the main reason why she doesn't like to eat, so Feng Qingxiu will never let her eat snacks when it's time to eat unless absolutely necessary. After a long time, it was almost time to finish dinner in the evening, and Xiao Wan came over sweating profusely. I'm sorry, none of us expected that there would be so many students in tandem at this stop." Feng Qingxiu was stunned. "Serial connection?" "Yes, we are connected in series." Xiao Wang smiled bitterly and whispered, "It probably started in September or October last year. Teachers and students from all over the world started to connect in series. Most of the students went to the capital and did not attend our school. I didn't pay much attention to this train, I just heard it from my colleagues who took the train to the capital." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, The Struggle Career of a Charmed Wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 886. Having said this, Xiao Wang did not forget to go out for a look and found no one. When he came back, he continued, because the country said that travel expenses are free, food and accommodation are included, and I don't have to spend a penny. So, except for those serious people who go to the capital, there are many students who are learning how to make revolution, eating, drinking, and traveling around in the name of revolution. After all, not everyone has the money to go out. Wherever they go, there is chaos, and everyone is lawless and does whatever they want. Xiao Wang gritted his teeth as he spoke, but did not dare to show a trace of dissatisfaction on his face for fear of being labeled a counter-revolutionary. Feng Qingxiu suddenly realized what was going on. Lu Zhang didn't know and couldn't help frowning. No one will care about it. If this continues, won't the railway be paralyzed? So many students don't have to spend a penny on food, drink, housing, and transportation, so where does the wasted money come from? Isn't it the blood and sweat of working people? On top of that, this situation would place a significant financial burden on the country. The country has just begun to develop, the economy is depressed, and it has to implement a planned economy. How can it withstand such long-term devastation? Control, Xiao Wang shook his head. Who dares to take care of it? This is what the higher UPS said, and it was published in the newspapers. The old leader met with his soldiers several times, and I heard that he also met with young teachers and students from all over the country. There must be more than 10 million people in total, causing more and more people to flock to the capital. I heard that the trains to the capital are really crowded and there is no room for walking. Our train is not bad. Well, we only go to Huihei City, not the capital, so there aren't many students coming here. The carriage was so crowded that they almost came to snatch our sleeper berth. Isn't that too much? Lu Zhang said. Xiao Wang sighed. That's because you haven't seen what it's like on the train to the capital. What I'm most afraid of now is that they want to go to the capital, get off at Huihei City and then transfer. The food on the train will definitely not be enough, and the hot water will be enough. It's not enough. But don't worry, I'll take your lunch box away in a moment, and I'll pack the food back for you secretly. If you hold it in your hand, it will be gone in this carriage. The students in each carriage were like hungry wolves. All the food at noon today was not enough to feed their bellies. Many people clamored to expose the bad attitude of the staff on this train because they were not fed enough. If you fail to entertain them well, you have the intention to oppose the revolution. Xiao Wang was almost frightened. He was busy with the train conductor and other conductors until now. Feng Qingxiu didn't want to burden Xiao Wang, so she patted her shoulder and said, "It's okay. You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. Leave us alone and focus on the needs of those students first to avoid getting into trouble." "No, how can I let you go hungry?" Xiao Wang felt very sorry. "You won't be hungry. I asked the child's father to go to the restaurant to buy food and hot water. He has 4 pockets. Those students also have a look. They barged in today and saw our situation and immediately left without disturbing us." Lu Zhang said in a deep voice, "Yes, Comrade Wang, you don't have to worry about us, we will take care of ourselves." Seeing that they were serious and not joking, Xiao Wang felt warm in her heart, bowed gratefully, and left in a hurry, because she heard the noisy students outside and had to deal with it. Although the destination of these students is not known, they got off the bus at the same time as Lu Jiang's family in Huihei City. Asking for votes, monthly votes, recommended votes. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 887. 3 groups of students appeared one after another on the road. The last 2 groups were not large in number, but together they were quite large. Not only did the food on the train not run out, it also caused the train to be delayed by 4 hours. Wang Zhenqiu and Guan Chen were both stunned. They finally waited until the train arrived at the station. The first thing they faced was a torrent of students. Wang Zhenqiu had experience and saw the opportunity quickly, so he quickly stopped the mule cart with Guan Chen before they rushed out. He rushed to the side and got out of the way, narrowly avoiding the frightened mule and running wildly. "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid," Wang Zhenqiu touched the mule's head as if coaxing a child. When these students were almost gone, they saw the figures of Lu Zhang and Feng Qingxiu. Lu Zhang was carrying a huge quilt bag on his left shoulder and a large bag in his right hand. Feng Qingxiu was carrying a luggage bag with a little girl tied to her chest and holding Zibao in her hand. A family of 4, extremely eye-catching. Wang Zhenqiu and Guan Cheng quickly stepped forward to take the luggage. It's over. Uncle, Aiken, isn't my father here? Feng Qingxiu was surprised not to see Lu's father. It's not convenient for your father to go out, so Aiken and I came here. Wang Zhenqiu didn't mean to hide anything. He looked at Zibao and Fuebao. Time flies so fast. Both children are so old. Uncle, I miss you so much, Zibao cried sweetly, pointing to the mule cart. Can I ride a big horse? Wang Zhenqiu was very surprised. Zibao, do you still recognize me? It's been more than 2 years since we met in the capital, right? I'm very smart, Zibao said proudly. Lu Zhang and Feng Qingxiu did not expose the fact that he looked at photos every day to identify people. Father Lu and Wang Zhenqiu were received by the old leader together, and Wang Zhenqiu was naturally indispensable in the group photo. My dear, Wang Zhenqiu quickly put his luggage bag on the mule cart and reached out to pick up Zibao. His old face turned into a smile. Zibao, my uncle misses you too. How about you go home with your uncle? This is the mule, the big horse is at home. Good. Fu Bao was untied by Lu Zhang and held in his arms. She rubbed her eyes and looked at Wang Zhenqiu and Guan Cheng. She didn't recognize Guan Cheng because Feng Qingxiu didn't have photos of Guan Cheng as an adult, but she recognized Wang Zhenqiu. Seeing him holding Zibao, he immediately said unhappily, Uncle, uncle, hug me. Hug me. My name is Lu Fuebao. Okay, okay, let uncle and grandpa hug our little Fuebao. Wang Zhenqiu took Zibao to the car and sat there. He turned around and hugged Fuebao, looking at her little face that was very similar to Feng Qingxiu. My little darling, let's go, uncle will take you home. After tying up their luggage and getting into the car, Lu Zhang and Guan Cheng sat in the front and drove. Feng Qingxiu asked Wang Zhenqiu and Guan Cheng if they had eaten. The train is 4 hours late. Uncle, you and Aiken should have been waiting. Let's go have a meal first. Wang Zhenqiu waved his hand. No, 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 look, where is the place for us to eat in the state-owned hotel? Don't cause trouble to them, let's go home and eat. After receiving the telegram from you back, your father and the children, I am so happy that I have tidied up the room and dried the quilt early, waiting for you to go home. Feng Qingxiu took a closer look and saw that many students rushed directly into the state-owned hotel. Then, there were loud noises inside. Listen carefully, they were all scolding the state-owned hotel for not giving them food and sabotaging the revolution. Content. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 888. Lu Zhang obviously saw the situation, couldn't help but frowned, and drove home directly. I haven't been back for a few years. It stands to reason that life in the city should be better than before, because the famine has been over for several years and should have eased. However, the result is that it is smoky and messy, and it is simply a hell on earth. Parading teams, wall-to-wall posters, raised platforms, etc., formed a horrific landscape. Fu Bao was very sensitive and shrank into Feng Qingxiu's arms in fear. Fuebao is good, Fuebao is not afraid. Mom is holding Fuebao. Feng Qingxiu hugged her to prevent her from seeing what was going on outside, and even covered her ears to prevent her from hearing when she passed some houses. There were sounds of beatings and insults coming from inside. Wang Zhenqiu sighed, a trace of unbearability flashed in his eyes, but he did not speak. Silence permeated the entire car. Until Chen Xuanyang's voice came over, Zioxiu. Zibao. Is it really you? I thought I saw it wrong. Lu Zhang immediately stopped the mule cart, and Feng Qingxiu looked for fame and went away, only to see Chen Xuanyang standing on the side of the road pushing an old bicycle. A bamboo basket hung on the handlebar of the bicycle, and her charming face was full of surprise. Sister Xuanyang, Feng Qingxiu hugged Fu Bao and got out of the car. You don't want to go to work? I was planning to visit Uncle Cheng and Aunt Cheng in 2 days. What class are you working on? With all the commotion going on right now, who wants to go to work? Chen Xuanyang didn't mention the fact that the textile factory was paralyzed because most of the workers were doing sports. She parked her bicycle and came over to hug Zibao and look at Fu Bao. Both eyes were smiling. Is this Fu Bao? You look so good, just like you. Let me kiss you, okay? Fu Bao bit his little finger and looked at Chen Xuanyang curiously. I won't let you kiss me, let mom kiss me. Chen Xuanyang laughed and touched her little head. What a good child. Yes, don't talk to people you don't know. Zibao waved to her, and when she came close to him, he said, Auntie, you can kiss me. Look like I'm giving you a lot of face. Ah, Chen Xuanyang was stunned and couldn't help but kiss his forehead. Zibao, why are you so thin? Your double chin is gone. Is it because your mother doesn't give you food? It seems you are still black. Some. No, Zibao squinted his big eyes. I'm very good looking and I eat a lot. Chen Xuanyang burst out laughing. Yes, yes, Zibao is the most beautiful. We all know this fact. After saying that, she said to Feng Qingxiu, I will visit you in 2 days. Don't go into the city. You have also seen the situation in the city. Don't get into trouble. Feng Qingxiu was not polite. Okay, we've been on the train all the way and we're all a little tired, so we're going back first. Chen Xuanyang hummed, watched them leave, and quickly got on her bicycle. She wanted to tell the Wanquilin family the good news of Feng Qingxiu's return. Cheng's father and Cheng's mother often talked about Feng Qingxiu and Zibao before they died. Knowing that they were back, Cheng Baoqiuohe and Wanquilin must be very happy, and Cheng's father and Cheng's mother must also be very happy underground. When Feng Qingxiu returned home and met Lu's father, she found out that Cheng's father and Cheng's mother had passed away one after another, and she couldn't help but feel sad. Innocent children don't understand what it means to be separated forever. Lu Tianzi and Guan Yu, who have grown into teenagers, are close to Feng Qingxiu, chattering and laughing so hard that they can't even see their eyes. Feng Qingyun clings to his sister, not even taking a step. Refuse to leave. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 889. The wind and clouds of the golden hairpin year show the first beauty of youth. She has fair skin, a beautiful face, and a slender figure, but her big eyes still sparkle with childishness. Seeing her like this, who would have thought that she looked like a 2 or 3-year-old child 7 years ago when she was already 5 years old? Feng Qingxiu touched her thick black hair, her eyes filled with relief. Aren't you going to school now? One by one, they are all at home. Returning to Wanglu Brigade, I saw many children working at school who should have been in school along the way. School has been suspended a long time ago, and we are all working at home. Feng Qingyun rested her head on her sister's shoulder, pretending not to see the jealousy in her brother-in-law's eyes. There are students from the city who want to teach some students from the school. The teacher was taken away, but my uncle stopped me. However, the class could not be held, and those teachers had to join us in labor. We were earning work points, and many of the older brothers and sisters in our brigade wanted to go out. After they had a chance to see something, their uncle gathered their parents and beat them all up, saying that they could not burden the country with food, drink, housing, and transportation, so they gave up the idea of not going out. Many students from other brigades studying in ours have gone to the capital. Feng Qingxiu sighed in her heart and said warmly, we're not going. Ah, Xiaoun, don't even think about going out. What can you kids do out there? Earn a few more work points at home and get more food at the end of the year. My uncle said the same thing. In recent months, my uncle has arranged a lot of work for them, and they are all exhausted. Feng Qingyun was quite happy about her misfortune. Although she didn't understand what was happening outside, she knew it was not a good thing for her family, so she was very obedient and never listened to the instigations of students who were older than her. Father Lu held Fu Bao in his arms and Zi Bao in his arms. The grandfather and grandson were so affectionate. After listening to the conversation between the two sisters, he said to Lu Tianzi and Guan Yu, "Brothers and sisters have finally come home. You can take them with you. My younger brothers and sisters should be careful when they go out to play, and stay away from the river. Aiken, you should also go there. I'm afraid they won't notice the tempers of Tianzi and Au's children." Lu Tianzi was not happy. "Master, I finally met my aunt." "Yes, Grandpa, I miss my aunt. My brother went to pick up my aunt and you didn't let us go. Now let us stay at home. When can't we play outside?" Guan Yu felt even more grateful for Feng Qingxiu. The friendship between mother and son, even if he often wrote to Feng Qingxiu, could not describe the longing in his heart. Feng Qingxiu patted his head. "I can't run away from home. When can't I stay at home? I have to cook later and take care of my younger brothers and sisters. But my sister came back to her home for the first time and she didn't even know the way." "Okay then," Feng Qingxiu said, but Guan Yu had no objection. Guan Cheng understood that Father Lu had something to say to Lu Zhang Feng Qingxiu, so he smiled and said, "I will take good care of my younger brothers and sisters." Looking at Guan Cheng, who had grown into a young man with a handsome and elegant appearance, Feng Qingxiu couldn't help but ask Lu's father, "Our Aiken is quite old, we are older than Tian Wan. Is there anyone coming to propose a wife to him?" Guan Cheng's face turned red, he hugged Fu Bao and walked out. Zi Bao's heart had already flown outside. He neatly left Father Lu and followed him. Lu Tianzi and Guan Yu followed him with smiles, and Guan Yu took Feng Qingyun away smoothly. "Auntie won't run away, why are you sticking to Auntie? I can't see how Uncle's eyes can spit fire. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's hang out together." He couldn't stay with his aunt, and Qingyun couldn't even think about it. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 890. Feng Qingyun was a girl after all, and she didn't do any strenuous work. She was taken away by Guan Yu unconsciously, and she didn't even have time to talk to her sister. She was so angry that her teeth itched, but she had already gone far and could not look back. There were no children in the house, so Father Lu told his son and daughter-in-law in detail about the recent situation. The Wanglu Brigade is now very famous because Wang Zhenqiu was personally received by the old leader, so the special scenery is in line with what Lu's father said before. Even if the harvest in the past 2 years is not very good, the people of the Wanglu Brigade have not gone hungry. To set an example, Huihei City must maintain the image of Wanglu Brigade in front of the old leader. The most important point is that there are people in the Wanglu Brigade. Although Wang Xinchen has never made it public, many people know that he is from the Wanglu Brigade. It really makes his hometown a mess. If someone accuses him, many people in charge of this area have to suffer. Let's not say that like the old leader, his hometown has become a scene because of his outstanding achievements, but no matter what, Wang Xinchen couldn't let Wang Xinchen go back to his hometown to visit relatives on a whim, only to find that his hometown was in a mess. Therefore, because it is well known and because it is a character, it does not receive much impact. It's impossible to say there's none at all, but it's all within control. Not to mention your uncle and your third uncle, Ajiang is now a powerful figure in the hearts of many people in our brigade. The adults in our brigade know it well, and no one dares to act arrogantly when they are in charge of the children below. They have a brain or two. The students who had a fever and wanted to make a revolution were beaten by their parents with the soles of their shoes until they cried for their mothers and were so painful that they lost their energy. Feng Qingxiu said hurriedly, "Are you okay? I saw the crazy energy of those children on the road. Father Lu is an out-and-out big landowner. He is on the list of Weihei City. Moreover, there are two intellectuals from a scholarly family, Uncle Su and Aunt Su, living in the cowshed. Can those students not drag them out and give them a hard time?" What Feng Qingxiu is most worried about, besides Wang Xinchen and Ye Zhenjun, are Lu's father, Uncle Su, and his wife, as well as her elders from the previous life. If the ingredients are not good, it will be difficult to move forward. Father Lu waved his hand, "Don't worry, I'm fine." Many people rushed into the cowshed at that time. It's not a secret that I live in the cowshed. If they wanted to inquire, they would naturally find out. When they saw me and the old leader, they didn't dare to act rashly despite the group photo and the handwriting left by the old leader. Your uncle showed them the self-reflection I had written in advance, and said to them, the old leader said, "Comrade Lu Ziwen has made great contributions to the country. Merit, dedication to revolution, composition is not a problem. Aren't you afraid that the old leaders in the capital will know that you are making such a fuss? Those students will support every word and action of the old leader and see me again. Living in a cowshed, I had nothing to offer, and the old leader's handwriting and photos were spotless, so he didn't bother me anymore." Father Lu knew very well that if he had not made such a trip to the capital because his daughter-in-law had given birth to a baby in the capital, he would have been tortured now, and whether he could save his life was a question. Wang Zhenqiu could protect his life, but he might not be able to stop the crazy students. It was the old leader's words that saved him. Father Lu let out a long sigh, "I'm fine, but others may not be. In order to keep the intellectuals like old Su, your uncle has to beat gongs and drums from time to time to call the people in the brigade to let them go." They admitted their mistakes in person and made self-criticisms. They were told to write a self-criticism letter every month and submit it to the county to show that they were undergoing reform through labor. It took a lot of effort to fool outsiders. "Oh, after dinner in the evening, you can come with me to see them. Some of them are from our school, only two, but several are from the city. Your third uncle tried every means to send them here under the banner of decentralization. There are also a few who were escorted from the capital. That's really cool. The seniors in the academic world are all celebrities. It is said that it was arranged by Comrade Kui.